Okay, well, hey, howdy. This has been a really amazing project, and I've enjoyed working on it because I started out not knowing a single thing except it ran on carbide. I think we got it to the point where it works really well. Now, the principle behind this is you put carbide in a little chamber inside. You put water in this top font, and this little clicker lever adjusts how much water drops onto the carbide. The more water that goes onto the carbide, the more acetylene gas it generates. So, from there, these are the innards on this guy. This lower font is two parts. There's a fine thread, and on the inside there's an O-ring. I'm guessing that somewhere along the line this O-ring had been replaced, probably a standard size you can pick up at the hardware store. Right now it seems to be in good shape. This thing was patented in March 28th, I don't know if you can see that, 1899. So I have trouble believing that this O-ring could be in this good a condition being 125 years old. Anyway, when you screw it together, it should screw together easily. If you're experiencing some resistance, you've misthreaded it, and you're going to bugger up your screws. So just make sure that you can screw this together easily. Now, on the inside of this thing, can you see this little kind of a dispenser faucet type gadget? That's where the water comes out. This thing, the other end of it, is a long needle valve that seats in a seat inside of this. So when you open this a couple clicks, water starts to drop out of here. The water comes out of here and goes into this opening. This is a, pull it back a little, this is a perforated cylinder. When you first sent this to me, the top of this cylinder was crushed, and this little faucet here was also crushed. What happened was somebody tried to get it together, it wasn't lined up, and they just smashed everything. The reason they probably couldn't get it to line up was this spring had come loose from here. The spring helps you center it. Pardon me. So if the spring wasn't centering it, they tried to get it together, it didn't feel quite right, so they just cranked that rascal down and wrecked it. Okay. Anyway, the spring is where it should be. This thing is bent back as clear as I can get it. Same with the little faucet there. Now, on the inside of this, see, this is the bottom of that perforated tube. There's a little tray, and I'm not exactly sure how to do this. My first guess was to load this little pipe up with powdered carbide so the water would drip in there, the acetylene would come up. And it seemed to work really, really well. The problem was, when I took it apart to clean it for you, this little cylinder was just packed solid with the oxidized carbide. And I had to dig it out with a little tiny pick. So I thought, well, that can't be the way they do it. Maybe the way they would load it is actually put either powdered carbide or carbide granules on this tray. And then take the thing and put it in the carrier. Then put the carrier in the bottom of the font. And then line it up and screw it in. Now, if you're at this point and you feel any kind of resistance, that means your faucet and the tube are not lined up and you're going to crush them. So if there's no resistance, just tighten this rascal up. And then when you think you got it good and tight, I'd say give it another little bit of a crank. Because when I fired this, we got the flame going and all that, and then I got a flame shooting out of the side here. And that was because the acetylene was leaking out, so you don't want that. So, lighting this, the way I lit it was, there's a clip here that holds the lens in. Pull that clip and your lens will fall out. This seems to be a really awkward way to light it in usage, because you're on your bicycle, you're trying to light this, you're trying to hold on to this, and if the lens pops out and you drop it, look at that sucker. There's absolutely no way today you could replace this lens. But what I did was I took it out. I put a couple drops of water in, I held the torch to the little spigot in here, and then when I developed enough acetylene in the tank, it lit. And I had it cranked open pretty good, so it was a good flow of water. And what happened was I was getting so much acetylene in here that it wasn't burning completely, so I got black soot coming up. Once I had the flame adjusted to where I was getting no soot, I put the lens back in, and it just will snap in, okay? If this was my unit, I don't want to do this to yours, but if this was my unit, I would drill a little lighting hole down here so I didn't have to take the lens in and out. But anyway, that's the deal. I'm going to send you a little plastic squirter bottle you can use to put water in here. And I also made a little funnel gadget for loading the carbide, which may be helpful, it may not, but I made it. So anyway, you got it. So that's it. Thank you for letting me do this project. It was really pretty cool. I enjoyed doing it. It was a challenge because I had no idea what I was doing when I started. So I did some research online, looked at stuff, talked to a couple guys, and figured out what the mechanics were and how this was supposed to be set up. So anyway, that's it. Have a lot of fun. And please, 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 when you're riding your bicycle with this light, do not put a helmet and spandex on. That looks so stinking stupid. Anyway, thanks again. It was fun doing this. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.